Good evening, I'm Noel Okel. Yesterday, thousands of people joined Pope Francis at St. Peter's Square for his weekly recitation of the Angelus, where afterwards he reflected on the gospel story of when Jesus was asked, "Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest?" The Pope noted that the question was insidious because there was more than 600 precepts in the Old Testament, but he said Jesus answered without hesitation, "You shall love your Lord, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind," he added, "and you shall love your neighbor as yourself." In answering the Pharisees, Jesus sought to help them put the religious devotion in the right order and to help them understand what truly matters and what is less important. To Mexico now, where the Mexican Bishops' Conference and Caritas Mexico has announced that more than $900,000 has been raised to assist with relief and rebuilding after the 2 earthquakes struck the country in September. The money will be used to build relief centers and shelters for those who were left homeless after the 2 earthquakes decimated parts of Mexico on the September 7th and on the 19th. The first earthquake leveled parts of the southern Chiapas state, leaving 100 dead and damaging more than 100,000 homes. The second earthquake struck just south of Mexico, claiming 369 lives. Complaints have begun to surface, however, over some allegations that politicians are proliferating donations, but church officials have promised to be good stewards of what was donated. Now, according to the latest estimates from the Mexican Conference, approximately 996 Catholic churches were damaged in 19 different dioceses, and about 80 priests had their parish residences destroyed. Our friends at Catholic Relief Services has this report.
Hola, soy Cecilia Suárez de Catholic Relief Services en la Oficina de México. Como todos ustedes saben, México pasó por 2 terremotos muy fuertes durante el mes de septiembre y hoy estoy visitando este convento de San Guillermo en la comunidad de Totolapan. Como ustedes verán, fue uno de los muchos conventos e iglesias que desgraciadamente sucumbieron ante el terremoto del pasado 19 de septiembre. Podremos reconstruirlo, sí, pero va a tomar mucho tiempo y pues necesitamos el apoyo y la solidaridad de mucha gente. CRS sigue buscando cómo poder ayudar a pues los muchos miles de personas que están viéndose afectadas por esto y pues sabemos que contamos con sus oraciones y su apoyo y de todo corazón el pueblo mexicano se los agradece.
Now here in Canada, CBC is reporting that members of the Canadian Pediatric Society are increasingly being asked by parents about the option of physician-assisted suicide for children, and that in a recent survey amongst its members found a growing support for expanding the assisted suicide law to include children. 45 doctors responding to the survey said they have received explicit requests for assisted deaths from parents involving 91 children, and more than half of the requests involved children under a year old. Since the beginning, the Canadian Catholic Conference of Bishops have spoken vehemently against this bill. The conference president, Bishop Doug Crosby, issued a statement last year stating that declaring physician-assisted suicide as a right is not true caring and not humane in the least. It is ultimately a false act of mercy and a distortion of kindness to our fellow man. Physician-assisted suicide is an affront to what is most noble, most precious in a human endeavor, and a grave injustice and violation of the dignity of every human person. Now, 16 months after the law was enacted, Canadian pediatricians are urging for improved palliative care for children and youth as a key part of preparing for the possibility of the legalization of euthanasia for certain patients under 18. And finally tonight, U.S. pilgrims are starting to partake on a new pilgrimage of a different kind, walking the historic trails of St. Francis on a 155-mile journey from Assisi to Rome. This now from CNS.
It was about 3 years ago where I discovered the trail, the Way of St. Francis, the Camino of St. Francis. And I started promoting the Way of St. Francis, and it's just taking off. People are interested in it, they're walking it, they're enjoying it. You know, I accompany it and organize and help people do it.
And that is all that we have time for today. I'm Noel Okel. Join us again tomorrow when I bring you more news and stories with the perspectives of a Catholic lens. Thank you for joining us.